Welcome to Civil Services Achievers Point. We are discussing today the Assam Tribune of 30 September. At Civil Services Achievers Point, we have various courses. You can join these courses. For details, please call at the number given below. These are the answers to the MCQs of 29 September. These are the MCQs of 30 September. You can pause the video here and you can check the answers and you can comment the answers in the comment section. These are very important MCQs which may be asked in the upcoming APSC exam. So students, let us begin with these are the newspaper articles we are discussing today and the important editorials. So students, let us begin. The first article we are discussing today is that India has decided to provide the Dornier aircraft to Maldives, which is in line with the growing strategic ties. So this is regarding the India and Maldives bilateral relations, and we are discussing this topic under the General Studies 2 paper topic International Relations. So India has provided a Dornier aircraft to the Maldives to help the island nation enhance surveillance over its exclusive economic zone, as well as to keep an eye on the seaborne terrorists. So since Maldives is an island, it is very much prone to the seaborne terrorists, and also to enhance its surveillance over the exclusive economic zone. So this was a requirement for Dornier maritime surveillance aircraft, which was raised by the then Maldivian President Abdullah Yamin during a visit to India in 2016. The sources, however, said that the aircraft will assist in ongoing joint surveillance by India and Maldives over the exclusive economic zone of the island nation. And since the island nation is frequently prone to the attacks by terrorists, so this development will surely help the security of the nation. So the ties and the relations between India and Maldives were back on track after Ibrahim Mohammed Solih became president of the country. So the relations between the two countries downgraded during Yamin's tenure, as he was close to Beijing. So as we have already covered, that China is trying to increase its influence in the Indian Ocean region. So India is also making its effort to increase the bilateral relations between India and the countries in the Indian Ocean region. So coming to the next important topic, India looking to store oil reserves in overseas in US and other locations, which is informed by the Union Minister Pradhan. So India, we know that this topic we are studying under the General Studies 3 paper, economic development topic. So India, the world's third biggest oil importer, is exploring storing crude oil in the US and other commercially viable locations to hedge its supply risks. So since India is a energy deficient country, so India has to borrow or rather import oil from other countries. So India is looking for options to store the crude oil in the US and other commercially viable locations so as to minimize its supply risks. Also, the country has tied up long-term crude oil supplies from the US, Russia and Angola so as to diversify its import basket beyond its traditional suppliers in the from the Middle East. So apart from the traditional suppliers like the Iran, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, India is also diversifying its import basket and now importing oil from countries like US, Russia and Angola. Now coming to the next important topic, the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has launched Startup Challenge in a bid to find innovative ideas on 11 defense issues. So this topic we can study in the General Studies 3 paper topic security. So Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has launched a startup contest under which innovators, micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs and startups have to find new ideas applicable to 11 specific challenges of the Indian defense sector. 4 of the 11 subjects of the Defense India Startup Challenge, these 4. So this point may be asked by APSC in the upcoming preliminary exam, that what is this DISC 4. So this DISC 4 is the Defense India Startup Challenge 4. So the 4 of the 11 subjects of the challenge, startup challenge, are autonomous underwater swarm drones, foliage penetration radar, reduction of radar cross-section of naval warships, and artificial intelligence based satellite image analysis and reduction. So if an idea of a startup, an innovator or an MSME is accepted by the ministry in this 4, the entity would be given innovation grants by the ministry to develop the prototype. The minister also launched product management approach PMA guidelines today that will steer the prototype development to a market ready product. So from the prototype or sample, it will be developed to a market ready product through the product management approach. So the product management approach guidelines will monitor the product development milestones achieved by the startup challenge winners against the requirements set by the armed forces, the Ordnance Factory Board or the defense public sector undertakings. Now coming to the important news. So this will be asked by APSC, the members of the Quad, since it is frequently in news and it is very important for India also. APSC may check this in the upcoming prelims exam, that the members of the Quad are, you can mention in the comment section the which countries are the members of the Quad nations or Quad group. So this topic we are studying under the General Studies 2 paper International Relations topic. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will visit Tokyo from October 6 to 7 to attend a ministerial meeting of the Quadrilateral Coalition and hold talks with his Japanese counterpart so as to deepen the bilateral ties. So during the visit, the External Affairs Minister will also participate in the second India, Australia, Japan, USA ministerial meeting. The ministers will affirm the importance of maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. The second meeting of the Quadrilateral Coalition or Quad comes in the backdrop of the growing concerns over China's military presence in the Indo-Pacific region. So in November 2017, the 4 countries gave shape to the long pending proposal of setting up a Quad to develop a new strategy to keep the critical sea routes in the Indo-Pacific free of any influence. So since the Chinese influence is ever increasing, the 4 countries, that is India, Australia, Japan and USA, have formed a strategic group to keep the critical sea routes in the Indo-Pacific free from any influence. So now students, we can discuss the important editorials of 30 September 2020. So the first is the anemia control. This topic we are studying under the General Studies 2 paper topic governance and social justice. So according to a global nutrition report, 51% of Indian women aged 15 to 49 are anemic. So during the age, so this is the age between 15 to 49 is the age where women reach the puberty and they have the menstruation phase and fertility of the woman for giving birth. So in that age, half of the women are anemic or they have lesser blood. So they have, the report also stated that India figures in the list of nations having a high prevalence of anemia. In children, iron deficiency anemia severely affects cognitive performance, it also impacts language skills, motor skills, and coordination among infants and young children. So anemia also impacts the immune system and increases the chances of infections. So this dimension of anemia during the COVID pandemic times is a matter of concern, and India has a very high rate of anemia among pregnant women also. So around 40% girls and 18% boys in the country are anemic. Along with the rest of the country, the state of Assam is also facing an enormous challenge in tackling anemia. So the main reasons behind the dismal state of the nutritional needs of the child and woman is due to inadequate spending on health and nutrition, wide economic and social inequality, and weak political commitment. So malnutrition is one of the biggest causes of child mortality in India. It is a well-known fact that undernourishment affects not only the physical but also the mental development of the child. Acute poverty, unemployment, poor income, and lack of health services coupled with government's approach towards providing food for all has made a hunger a national disease for underprivileged children. So in this article, it is said that the government has to properly implement. There is a strong need to ensure that the schemes are properly implemented on the ground and reach the targeted groups. Coming to our next important news article, this is very important, and APSC and UPSC also may ask in essay that how in the times of corona the governance can be further made robust and also made ready for future pandemic. So here the author discusses the influenza pandemic of 1918 to 1919, which is widely known as Spanish flu. So the author has compared the Spanish flu with the currently we are going through the corona pandemic. So here the author has said that we are faced between two things: controlling the corona spreading and also to keep the economic momentum going. So the two tasks that confront the government today are fight the common enemy, and that is a COVID-19 virus, and economic reconstruction to deal with revenue shortfalls and a trading and investment system that is on the back foot. So the policy interventions thus we have to look at are determining where the gaps are in governance and sectors, bridging those gaps across the complex network, reassessing how we allocate our resources, restructuring how we govern to ensure we do maximum public good and focus on inclusive governance, how we reflect the needs of a more aspirational citizen without losing the fundamental ethos of collective community and citizen welfare, and cooperative federalism is the way forward, and cooperation would be essential to rebuild and to redevelop an economy within each state can grow, within which each state can grow. So some of the sectors here the authors have highlighted are the healthcare, the lives versus livelihoods, because at the same time we have to save lives with the lockdowns and all, but at the same time we have to also see the livelihoods of the people who are associated with these sectors. Then technology and digitalization, transformation of governance through adoption of digital and technology has already become the new world order, and emerging technologies like big data analytics, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, etc. So also we have to look after the civic values, the civic duties, proper social distancing, proper sanitizing of our hands, proper garbage disposal, not spitting in open. So these are the civic duties which the citizens have to perform. So in summary, the need of the hour is to commence a journey which will allow us to prepare through forward planning and anticipation. So this is a very important article, and this can be quoted in mains answers. So students, with this we come to an end to today's current affairs class. I hope this class was very helpful. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you.